And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes, and I am back with another tier list for you guys. So, we've already tackled the point guard and the shooting guard tiers in NBA 2K21 My Team for the month of July. I think it's time for the small forwards to get a taste of that action, for lack of a better term. So, we're going to be ranking all of the best small forwards in the game and some not very good ones as well. So, let's get into the parameters. S tier, unquestionable best cards in the game. I will do my best to explain why they are in S tier as opposed to A tier and vice versa. A tier, guys who are just a shade under S tier, and maybe there's like one or two problems with them that I'll talk about, or maybe it's just like the S tier guys are just that much better. B tier, very usable, very acceptable options. All these guys are going to be good, and in most cases, they're going to be usable, and in some cases, like you might even prefer B tier guys over A or even S tier guys. I've had that happen with my list many times where I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, I actually prefer using the guys in B tier over some of the S tier guys. That's like totally a thing. It's all personal play style. Like I try not to be biased about these lists. I try to think of both gens, the entire, basically, I don't know, I was going to say play group, but the entire player base. I don't know why I was about to say play group. What a weird terminology. C tier, very acceptable, just middle of the road cards. Maybe they were once like A and B tier guys and they've fallen off due to being outdated a bit. But for the most part, nothing wrong with these guys, but I'll talk about them. D tier, they do a few things well, and I'll talk about those things that they do, or they're just kind of outdated. But either way, I will explain why they're there. F tier, they have like one or two saving graces that keep them out of trash tier, and that's about it. And trash tier, it's called trash tier. I mean, do you really need much for me? I don't think you need much on that one. I don't think you need much explanation. Like, it is what it is. We'll start with Aaron Nesmith. C tier. Aaron Nesmith's actually not that bad. Now, I will say he's not that good. He's not a top tier small forward in this game, but he does have Ray Allen base, one of the best jump shot bases in this game, especially for making whites. Really easy to green, plus it makes a lot of whites. So, but being only 6'5", definitely hurts him a little bit. There's also just so many great options in B tier that I think C tier makes sense for him. He might even be towards the top of C tier. It just kind of depends, really. Let's get an obvious one out of the way, and that's GOAT LeBron. They've just released so many LeBron cards. It's making this list like so difficult because there's like 14 LeBrons on here. Rip beer, nice. Legitimately, I mean, he's in 99 everything max badge LeBron with the best release in the game. I mean, yeah. Alex English. C tier. I don't think he's quite B tier. On next gen, he's probably B tier. But if I'm ranking between next and current, C tier is fine. The Carmelo Anthony base is pretty solid, but can't shoot from the corners on current gen for some reason. And there's just significantly better options in B tier. So, Anthony Edwards. I would throw him in the very bottom of B tier if he even stays there. I'm not a huge fan of this card at all. I don't really like this card very much, but he's a pretty solid small forward, all things considered. So, Jarrett Wallace, B tier for sure. His challenge is borderline impossible and just like super ridiculous. I think you have to get like 11 steals with one player or something in a 5-minute quarter game, which is just absurd, especially for Jarrett Wallace. But once you do get him, he is incredibly good. Pretty much all the problems with the pink diamond, Jarrett Wallace, are gone. So he is definitely worth it. Is he going to end up being in the top of B tier? Probably not. But Bailey Howell, I would throw him in B tier. He was once in S tier, I think, in one of my lists, and then he was on A tier. He's just kind of fallen down a little bit. But Bailey Howell's still a small forward T-Mac clone that's super fire. Like I said, never count out 2K with juicing up 60s white guys, dude. They love doing that. That's like their favorite thing ever. Melo. I would throw Melo in C tier. I mean, he's not much different than Alex English. I actually think Alex English is slightly better than him. That's just a personal thing. If you play him at the 2 guard, he's pretty good. But once again, if you play him at the small forward, like you can't shoot from the corners, that is kind of a problem. Caron Butler. Caron Butler is not that much different than Jarrett Wallace. Jarrett Wallace is much better defensively. Caron Butler is a little better offensively. I would put him in B tier. He's actually overall super solid. And he just came out this week, so his stats and badges are literally through the roof, so it doesn't really matter. Cedric Ceballos, trash. Cedric Maxwell still has a really nice jump shot, but he is definitely outdated. I'd put him in C tier. 6'7" though. I just found out that his number is retired by the Celtics. I did not know that. That's interesting. Connie Hawkins. Yeah, I mean, he's actually worse than Cedric Ceballos, I think, which is crazy. He did come out in like season 2 though, so or like season 2 or 3 or whatever. So I'm not gonna hold it against Connie Hawkins too much. Another one of those guys that I'm not saying 2K needs to give us like a Dark Matter Connie Hawkins or something, but like it's just another example of the roster of players they have, and they still give us like 15 LeBrons. Desmond Bane, I would throw him in D tier. I don't think he's as good as these 3 guys up here. I really don't. I mean, if you're good with him, then maybe you could put him here. I just think D tier makes sense. He's better than Cedric Maxwell though. USA Melo. USA Melo is B tier. I mean, you're going to run into the same problems that you do with the Idols Melo, but USA Melo is an invincible card, so he's like jacked up through the roof in pretty much everything. So it makes it a little bit easier to overlook his flaws. But, yeah, I mean, still can't shoot from the corners on current gen. That's like super frustrating. Detlef Schrempf. You know, at one point in time, the Opal Detlef Schrempf was an S tier small forward. That's how bad this position was. That's crazy. I would throw him in C tier. I do generally think... I'm going to drop Anthony Edwards, though, because I don't think he's really that much better than these people down in C tier. But I do think there is a drop-off between Detlef Schrempf and the guys in B tier. Like, I think the guys in B tier are better, so I would put him in C. LeBron. Invincible LeBron, I would throw him in A tier. I mean, essentially the same card, but this one can play point guard. And he has like 75 Hoff badges, 90 literal 99 every single stat, max tendencies. This one is not far behind though, like no joke. And neither of the other 4 LeBrons we're gonna see on this list. So Doug McDermott. Yeah, I mean, I can't say he's better than Detlef Schrempf, so like C tier. Elgin Baylor. He's not. Yeah, I mean C. He's just a little bit small. If he was in the 2-guard tier list, he might hit B tier. He's 6'5". But as a small forward, 6'5" is a little bit small compared to what we're dealing with right now. And I would legitimately use all 4 guys in B tier over Elgin Baylor. And it has nothing to do with it because I actually like Elgin Baylor a lot. It's literally for like a competitive reason, you know? Look, Elgin Baylor is not playing defense on someone like a Thon Maker on the wing. It's just not happening. George Gervin. I would say tippy top of B tier. I think the guys in A tier are going to be significantly better, which is why I'm putting him here. But George Gervin's still a beast. Scottie Pippen, he's better than Gerald Wallace. I will say that. He's definitely better than Gerald Wallace. I like this card. He's still my starting small forward. Like, because his defensive animations are super good, his player build is awesome. I'm actually really green with his jump shot off of the catch and shoot. But it's a super slow jumper, and I can say confidently that like this LeBron overall is like a better card than Scottie Pippen. You know, it hurts to say that, but it's true. Detlef Schrempf, this one, I don't know, D tier, bottom of D tier. He's not terrible. He's just not like he's not very good. You know what I mean? So, I don't know where to put Gerald Wilkins. He's weird. I would put him in C tier. I think he's better than McDermott. Yeah, he's better than McDermott. It's got that Jonathan Isaac release, which misses a lot of whites. He's relatively good. I just don't think he's good enough for B tier at this point. Glenn Robinson. He's better than Ceballos and Connie Hawkins, so I'll put him in F tier. Glenn Rice. Glenn Rice is really nice, actually. Bars. 6'7", really easy to time jump shot, like a pure sharpshooter. He runs the floor really well. He handles the ball really well. He plays pretty solid defense. I would say B tier for sure. Plus, you can pick him up for 15K. That's like a really good deal. Gordon Hayward. Yeah, I'm not putting you in B tier, Gordon Hayward. You're going in C. If we're being completely honest, though, he's probably the best card in C tier right now, though. Like, I'm not even kidding. I actually believe that. Gordon Hayward. God, nerd. Grant Hill. D. Yeah, if he could shoot a little bit better, I would put him up in C tier. But he's not the greatest shooter in the world, this particular Grant Hill. But, you know, he's good. Ooh, this Grant Hill's S tier, though. You might be thinking to yourself, no way he's better than that LeBron. Nah, he might be. Like, this Grant Hill's really good. Grant Hill this year has been incredible, and this Grant Hill is no different. He's stupid. He has, like, basically he's defensively about as good as Scottie Pippen with the same similar player build. Scottie has a little bit better defensive animations, but like defense-wise, they're good. And Grant Hill is a monster. Like, he is subject to move down to A tier at some point. It's possible. It depends. I haven't really planned out who's going in S tier or anything, so I'm kind of going by, pick by pick. So we'll see. PJ Dozier. Actually, this card's pretty good. I would put him in C tier. Yes, over these guys in D tier, no question. Harrison Barnes. Yeah, I would put Harrison Barnes here too, actually. Harrison Barnes is pretty solid. Hedo Turkoglu, F. Bad. I would use all the guys in D tier over him. His jump shot is so trash. I wish they would have went and fixed it at some point, just giving him base 98 or something. Yuta is so bad. Trash. I don't even care, dude. Jay Crowder. Yeah, Jay Crowder is actually really good. Like, C tier. Like, literally, he's super good. I was kind of shocked. Shout out to the Suns for losing. James Ennis, D. Like, he's not really that good. He's probably the best card in D tier, but that's not really, like, saying anything, I don't think. I mean, it's fine, I guess. James Worthy. Oh, James Worthy is a B still. B tier, though. I wouldn't put him in A tier because I think the small forward position got a lot better. But I would definitely put him in B tier for sure. I still use this card on occasion. I personally use Scottie Pippen over him, though. So that's why I'm going to put him behind Scottie Pippen. But if you're a big James Worthy fan, I could understand putting him anywhere in B tier. And if you wanted to argue A tier, I could understand that too. I don't really agree with that necessarily, but I'll hear you out, Jarrett Culver, D. He's at least got a pretty good release. He's got the Tracy McGrady release. That's about all, though. They gave him, like, no hot zones and no badges. So, Tatum, A. I don't think Tatum's S. Every time I put Tatum in A, somebody gets mad and is like, no, Tatum's S tier. And I don't see it, man. I'll put him in A tier. LeBron's better than him. That's my rationale. And yes, Grant Hill is better than him. I don't care. Jeremy Grant, B. Jeremy Grant's a really acceptable small forward option, though I think he is a little bit overpriced. You're probably better off going with like someone like Glenn Rice or one of the free guys, just because he's only like 30K, but there's actually better options for cheaper. Like, I genuinely think Caron Butler is better for cheaper. I'm probably wrong about that, but like I feel that way. Jimmy Buckets, D tier. He's got all the tools, just a terrible badge count. That's like basically his one issue. This Jimmy Butler, though, I would say is probably the best card in B tier right now. You could argue Gervin or Howell, but I think this Jimmy Butler is really nice. Pure 3 and D cone, not quite as good as the invincible one on the shooting guard tier list, but really, really close, shockingly. And I mean, this card's a beast. I still use him from time to time. Like, sometimes I'll switch around my lineup and I'll use Jimmy Butler. Joe Harris. My spirit animal, where does he go? Where does me in the NBA get off to? Yeah, I mean, I put him like over here. Low C tier somewhere with the other pink diamonds. Yep. Joe Ingles, another white guy, double white guy, C. I'll put him ahead of Gordon Hayward. Yeah, I will. Just due to it being Gordon Hayward. Josh Okogie. Yeah, he's not very good, like Av. It's one of the reward cards. The reward cards are pretty bad. Like, they're really bad. Josh Smith. A. Yeah. He's better than Tatum. Yeah, I would say A tier for sure. He's better than everyone in B tier. Josh Smith is so good. Literally, his card is so stupid. I'm not, like, upset we got another Josh Smith. I'm just saying we didn't need it. Because the other out-of-position Josh Smith was super good still to this day. So we didn't really need the Dark Matter Josh Smith, but he can play shooting guard as well. Which is not his natural position, but definitely a position he plays well, for sure. Enshrined Julius Erving. Yeah, I mean, I would say he's still B tier. That Rudy release, like, Julius Erving's still good. Invincible Julius Erving. S. Dude, he's stupid. Yes, he is better than this LeBron. I don't care what anyone says. Fight me. If one of you guys really comes in the comments and gets mad because I don't have 2 LeBrons up in S tier. Like, I'm gonna roll my eyes at you. Junior Bridgman. I mean, probably F. If he has shooting badges, he's up in D, borderline C tier, but with none of them, I would say F. Justice Winslow. This card should not still be C tier, but that's how bad the small forward position is, that my man Justice is still out here. Kawhi Leonard. I would say he's still S tier. I think so anyway. I don't really need to say too much about Kawhi. You guys know about Kawhi in 2K. Defensive stance, blah, 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 blah. Wide shoulders, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, he has the Kawhi defensive animations, which are huge. I think the only card that even has defensive animations that I would say that aren't the same, obviously, that I would say are close is Scottie Pippen. Like, Scottie Pippen is close. Because he has a different set of defensive animations, and I think they're almost as good. By the way, people always try to tell me they're the same. I swear they're not the same. But there's really no way for any of us to see this stuff because there's no database that has defensive animations and like block animation, steal animation, stuff like that. There's no way for us to actually see that stuff. So, but if you think they're the same, I mean, I guess I just don't personally agree with it, but it is what it is. I would say Kawhi's S tier though, and I would say it kind of ranks in this fashion right here. This is personal preference up here in S tier though. Kelly Oubre, D. No, he's still C tier. He's okay. Kevin Durant. I think he's probably S tier. There's just so many. This is the most people I think I've put on S tier in any tier list all year. I think the record is 5. So if I put another person in S tier, I have broken the record. But I think all 5 of these cards deserve to be here. This Kevin Durant, I would put in A tier. The reason this one gets an S tier and this one stays in A is because this one has the ability to play a shooting guard, whereas this one does not. So I would put this one in A tier and the invincible Kevin Durant in S tier. But this one's literally just as good. If you're going to play him at small forward, I would go buy this one because this one's buy it now and this one's like 300k. So Kevin Knox, F. Chris Middleton. Yeah, he's still B tier. Especially for 15k. He's really solid for that. As a 3-and-D wing, like a pure 3-and-D guy, really decent. Yeah, I can't say he's worse than Glenn Rice, really. They do different things, but you know what I mean? Kiki Vanderweet. I mean, he can shoot, so it keeps him out of trash tier, but he's not very good. Larry Bird, D. He's all right. Badge count's just super low. It's nothing about Larry Bird, though. Iguodala, D. Other Iguodala, D. I would throw him right there. I would throw Grant Hill a little higher up on this list. I'd probably rank it in this way. Yeah. I prefer the diamond Iguodala over the opal. The opal's a little bit better of a shooter. The diamond is a little bit more athletic, which is why I prefer it. But just so you guys know. Jack Marin. I feel like you guys are going to get upset because I'm going to put Jack Marin in D tier. But just remember his badge count is like super low. Like, just remember he came out a very long time ago because I'm going to double check his badge count before I even say anything. But I'm pretty certain he has a pretty low badge. Yeah, he has 18 Hoff badges. Larry Bird release was really nice for him, though. Jack Marin was a beast for his time. And I would say Pink Diamond Dissinger would probably go around here as well. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Do you not agree with that? Probably not. You guys never agree with anything I say. In regards to tier list. Larry Canaan. If he has shooting badges, he's B tier. If he doesn't, he is like top of C tier. He's definitely my favorite card in C tier at that point. Latrell Sprewell. Breaks my heart to throw you here, but I would throw you in D tier. Fan favorites, LeBron. God, there's so many LeBrons. I'm going to move Carmelo up because it hurts me to see him this low. So I'm going to do a little reshuffle here. Yeah. LeBron. I mean, can't shoot from the corners, but he's still a dark matter LeBron. He's a beast. He has the LeBron James release as opposed to Exum, which is why he's in B tier. But, I mean, you know, if you want to use him, go for it. Wiggins, just a little outdated, D tier. Good, though. Him and Marin are definitely the top 2. USA LeBron, A. Slightly worse version of this one. But he can play the shooting guard position, which is super cool. And he's not really any different than this LeBron. They both have Exum base. Like, they're really solid. Alec Burks. I mean, Alec Burks is actually not that bad. I would put him in C tier. He's not great, but I put him at the bottom of C tier. I was going to say Looney Tunes. Space Jam LeBron? Yeah, no, I mean, he's S. He's just a way better version of this one. They're basically the same card. This one just has like 10 more Hoff badges and like way better stats and stuff. Yeah, S tier. Do you know how much it pains me to put 2 LeBrons in S tier? Like, I'm a Jordan stan. This hurts, man, but 2K is going to 2K, you know what I mean? Lou Hudson. He's the best card in trash tier. Nah, you just tighter. Michael Porter Jr. I would say that he is, in fact, A tier for sure. Michael Porter Jr. is really, really good. And he definitely gets overlooked because he's used as a lock-in token for Bol Bol. But people overlook how good this actual card is by itself. Otto Porter, I mean, F, he's not very good. Patrick Williams, D tier. He's not very good, but he's a bucket, man. Paul George, probably the best card in B tier. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it depends which jumper you prefer over him or Jimmy Butler. They're basically the same card with a different jumper. They do the same stuff. If you like Paul George base, you'll pick Paul George. If you prefer base 22, you'll pick Jimmy Butler. Paul Pierce, bottom D tier. This Paul Pierce, C tier somewhere. He's all right. He's pretty decent. Still can't shoot from the corners because 2K like refuses to address this for some reason. Peja, yeah, right by like Detlef, like D. Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins is really good, but I can't say he's that much better than Jimmy Butler. So for that reason, I'll probably put him in B tier. I like this card a lot, though. I think he's a little bit better than Jimmy Butler, but not by enough of a margin that I can put him in A tier. I don't think Wiggins is as good as these cards in A tier. Yeah, I don't. This man is, though. Cam Reddish. I don't really like putting him in A tier. I'll be completely honest. Feels cheap. I don't really like it. But he's just a better version of Paul George. So it makes sense. And it's like the variation is enough that it makes sense, you know? This Peja, I mean, where's the other Detlef? Like, they're basically the same again. Richard Jefferson. Yeah, I don't really like this card, and obviously the challenge itself is horrendous. He's still C tier, I guess. Rick Barry. I mean, he's outdated for sure, but he's still better than, like, Josh Okogie and Otto Porter and stuff. Sean Marion. He's got a super horrendously ugly jump shot, but I would say that like C tier still makes sense. He's a really good defensive card, and he shoots well. I really liked his card earlier this year. Terry Dissinger. This is another probably controversial one. I don't know. No, you know what? The player base loves Terry Dissinger. I'm sure no one is really upset about Terry Dissinger in A tier. This is probably the most cards I put in S tier and the most cards I put in A tier all year long, but we are at the end of the year. That's usually how it goes, so I would put him in A tier as well. To be completely honest, I would say that Jason Tatum is the worst card in A tier. He's still slightly too good to put in B tier, in my opinion, but I literally do think he's the worst card in A tier. Nah, Terry Dissinger over Cam Reddish always. And then we got TJ Warren. TJ Warren's B tier. He's fallen off a little bit, not really his fault. Look at all these cards that we've gotten since the last tier list. So, and then Will Barton. I mean, he's not bad. I'd throw him in like D tier, but you know. And that's the list, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I know you guys always do. It has been your boy Cheap Ludes. I will be back with the power forward tier list later. Sorry, I've been a little spacey for this list. My phone's been just blowing up the entire time I've been trying to record this, so shout out to you guys, I guess, whoever's been blowing me up. Anyways, check the link in the description for my second channel if you want to go subscribe to that. That'd be super cool. I haven't posted on it in a little bit, but you know, if you guys could just subscribe to it, that'd be super tight. All my stuff's in the description, so that's cool. I upload daily NBA 2K21 or NBA 2K content, so I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully we get some packs, bro. I'll be hyped and do some pack openings and whatnot. Tune into the next one. Peace.